This project about photosynthesis light reaction was made by Sid M and Eugene H. The reactants for photosynthesis light reaction are carbon dioxide and water. The products, on the other hand, for light reaction and photosynthesis is glucose, water, and oxygen. And including the reactants and products are the inputs.
The inputs of the light reaction are light, H2O or water, ADP, and NADP+. As for the outputs, they are ATP, NADPH, and O2 or oxygen.
This is the chloroplast. This first layer that the light hits is the outer membrane right here, and this is the inner membrane. These are thylakoids, and this is where water and light, hits and goes into, and the granums are these stacks of these thylakoid membranes, and this space right here, the liquid space, is called the stroma. And the stroma and the stoma are different. The stoma are basically little holes, and they're being controlled by guard cells that open or close and allow molecules such as water or carbon dioxide to enter. So this was the anatomy of the chloroplast.
Alright, so sunlight strikes the chlorophyll molecules, and this will all occur in the thylakoid membrane, and when the light strikes the membrane, it'll excite the chlorophyll electrons. Then when the electrons are excited, they'll be sent down the electron transport chain, or the ETC. The electrons will be then passed between molecules along the chain, and these molecules will, or the electrons will donate their energy for the next steps. Then the electrons will combine with H plus and NADP to form the NADPH, and that will send the energy to the chloroplast stroma. Then what happens? You have to replace the electrons will be replaced. The lost electrons will be replaced, and an enzyme that will split the water into protons, H plus, electrons, and oxygen. And then the electrons will return to the chlorophyll, while the protons will be used to make ATP. Throughout the process, hydrogen ions, H plus, have been accumulating in the thylakoid lumen, and the energy released by the H plus ions move down the concentration gradients, and they make ATP from ADP.
Oh, so this is kind of the cartoon version of the cyclical and linear electron flow. As Sid explained before, the electron does flow, but there are two different ways. The first way is the linear flow, and it'll just simply flow, go through cyclic complex, go through photosystem 1, and it'll go straight to NADP plus reductase. And the NADP plus and the hydrogen ions will be synthesized by NADP reductase and will form NADPH. However, in the cyclical electron flow, it gets stuck between photosystem 1 and this cytochrome complex, and an endless cycle is happening. And while this is happening, the cytochrome complex over here pumps 4 hydrogen molecules constantly into the thylakoid membrane, and hydrogen plus ions will accumulate over here. And while this happens, because of the accumulation, we know that the hydrogen molecules go through ATP synthase at the bottom of the thylakoid membrane to form ATP. Thus, the difference really between these two different electron flow is that the cyclical, as I just explained, will form not NADPH but ATP because of the hydrogen molecules that keep forming. And in the linear flow, NADPH is formed because it does not get stuck, and hydrogen molecules are not pumped and will go through NADP reductase. And that was the two different electron flows. Thank you for watching, and that was the light reaction photosynthesis by Sid M and Eugene H in 7th period of Mrs. Hunt's class.